So there's a new Saints Row game coming out soon, which everyone loves.
Oh god.
Okay, so let's just say not everyone was exactly happy with this reboot of the series, and based on some of the reactions, you'd think this game would have stolen your entire life savings while forcing you to watch Darman videos. Like, yeah, I get it, these characters don't look like your typical high quality gangsters, and big rip to all the fan favourites like Johnny Gat, Pierce, Auto-Tune Man, Emo Hacker Man, and of course, Oleg. But I mean, judging by the gameplay trailer, I don't think it looks awful. Can't be any worse than Gat Out of Hell, I guess. Now, many moons ago, I made a video about Saints Row 4, detailing why I think that game put the Saints Row series on life support. The game not only jumped the shark, but probably served it a free-course meal too. See, I'm willing to bet my entire house that the writers were on a hefty amount of drugs while creating the fourth game, not realising that now, from a narrative point of view, what the fuck do you do? The Earth was blown up, Johnny Gat was resurrected, the Saints are the last human beings in existence, you're the new king of an alien race, and you also have the ability to travel back in time like a scuffed version of Doctor Who.
I know you're supposed to be dead and all, but you have to look this pissed?
So, do you make the fifth game about the Saints taking over the galaxy? Do you make it about them going back in time to 1950s England? You better have your TV license. Do you have them do business deals with a prehistoric mafia? Or do you actually listen to the fan base and just erase the last two games from the timeline, making a slightly more serious game about the Saints dealing with gang warfare? You know, kinda just like Saints Row 2, but with a free instead. So, with all that in mind, what do you think Volition decided to do? That's right, throw Johnny Gat into hell. Gat Out of Hell was not only the best pun you've ever heard, but an expansion for Saints Row 4 announced at the start of 2015, with a trailer that's honestly top quality marketing.
Order now! Operators are standing by! Saints Row, Gat Out of Hell!
I wonder if that number actually works.
Bang.
Hello, is this the Gat Out of Hell hotline? The game, as you can probably expect, was about Johnny Gat and Kenzie, for whatever reason, fighting their way through hell, with a story that was so deep and complex that even Christopher Nolan struggled to understand its cinematic brilliance. So the game begins at a birthday party.
Surprise! What's the occasion?
So it's Kenzie's birthday, she's like 56 probably, and the Saints have decided to throw her a little party, doing the usual birthday things like eating cake, playing Pin the Mask on Tobey Maguire, abusing piñatas, and of course using a Ouija board. I mean, I bust mine out every year. Now, if you've seen anything horror related in the past few years, you'll know that a Ouija board never really ends well.
Oh my god.
Bro, talk to us. What's good?
Can we go home?
Yeah.
What?
The only thing worse could be if the time was 3 AM. Anyway, the Ouija board manages to correctly guess its daily wordle, and suddenly a portal to hell opens up, which sucks the boss inside and leaves everyone slightly confused. You quickly find out the Ouija board is possessed and used to belong to a lovely gentleman called Aleister Crowley, an English occultist who apparently referred to himself as the Beast 666. Just sounds like an Xbox Live gamer tag. Johnny then makes the rational decision to shoot the Ouija board, and you devise a plan to head into hell, fight off any ferocious demons you see, save the boss, and get back to your crew in time for a slice of cake. Kenzie also comes along because it's her birthday, I guess. You gracefully arrive in hell, being greeted with a warm welcome from the locals, and eventually meet Dane, Ish, who was last seen in Saints Row 2 running Altor, a company with the motto, "You're poor, that's an L, bro." You also shot him out a window. Luckily though, Dane doesn't hold any grudges and actually wants to help you, which is a bit weird considering the whole window thing, but whatever gets the story moving faster, I guess. Dane basically spews a ton of exposition, informing you that the devil has kidnapped the boss so that he can force him to marry his daughter Jezebel, believing that because the boss has caused so much pain, chaos and mayhem over the past 4 games, he would make the absolute perfect husband, although I'd argue Nate from Euphoria would be a better choice.
What the fuck?
Now, the only way to stop this arranged marriage from happening is to get the devil's attention, and the only way to do that is to blow shit up. And it's at this point I'd like to remind everyone that we're only about 10 minutes into this game and my brain has already left the country. But first, ad time. Balls. We all have them. Well, like 90% of you lot anyway. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, but it's important to remember we need to take care of our balls. So since it's a new year, get Manscaped. Manscaped is dedicated to making sure your downstairs looks great, and with the Perfect Package 4.0, you'll be feeling great in no time. It features the brand new Lawnmower 4.0, Manscaped's 4th generation waterproof trimmer with advanced skin safe technology, which reduces the risk of accidental nicks and cuts, cause believe me, you don't want to cut your gentleman's vegetables. The trimmer is cordless and waterproof, meaning you can use it anywhere from your nan's house to the rainforest. It also has a portable charging dock that you can conveniently plug in via USB, and a set of LED lights at the front which tell you how much battery you have left. Nice. The kit also comes with a Crop Preserver Ball deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball toner. Plus, for a limited time, you get 2 free gifts, the Shed Travel Bag and these dazzling Manscaped anti-chafing boxers. And just to prove to you how good Manscaped is, here's me before using it, a beta male, and now here's me afterwards. What an alpha. Make 2022 the best year it possibly can be by heading over to manscaped.com to get 20% off, free international shipping, and 2 free gifts when you use code AlexWebb at checkout, making your balls the talk of the town. Once you're done talking to Dane, your new objective is to go make friends with some of the more notable members of Hell, like Blackbeard the Pirate, Vlad the Impaler, Kermit the Frog, William Shakespeare, who's a DJ here? I mean, at least this guy's enjoying himself.
I suck his dick with a smile.
You also reunite with Viola and Kiki the Winters from the 3rd game, but by far the most awful person you recruit is J-Station. The reason you align yourself with these lovely people is because they give you new powers you can use throughout the game, like being able to cause earthquakes just by stomping your foot, or alternatively turning anyone you see into a fantastic sculpture. What a work of art. To be fair though, I will say these powers are a lot more balanced here than the ones in the 4th game. I mean, they're still fun to use, but don't make you feel like you could fight God himself. Also, as you can probably tell, you now have wings stapled to your back, which work about as well as the Hindenburg. Genuinely, I think it would be easier to operate a fighter jet than these wings.
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
They're just incredibly awkward to use and aren't fun at all, which makes flying around seem like a chore because Hell clearly wasn't designed with flight in mind. Now, of course, you can upgrade these wings to make them better, but that really doesn't matter when I've spent the majority of the game diving headfirst into lava. On the bright side, at least some of the weapons are pretty sweet though. I mean, this one's an armchair with machine guns. There's actually a few unique weapons here, like a gun that fires entire colonies of bees, a gun that launches exploding frogs, and a gun which is inhabited by the soul of Colossal is Crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry, you don't like the colour fucking orange?
However, besides that, the rest of the weapons at your disposal are kinda mundane. I mean, we're in Hell, so how about instead of using a pistol, I just summon Exodia to take down the devil. Although in saying that, who needs guns when you can just turn people's bones into dust, or launch enemies so far into the sky, they'll probably land in heaven. On that note, the main goal here is to cause enough destruction so that this bar fills and you can have a nice dinner with Satan. Unfortunately, the only way to do that is to continuously play minigames, which makes up about 90% of the fucking game. See, instead of having story-centered missions like, you know, all the other fucking games, Volition decided that was too much effort and instead opted to just cram in a load of minigames, paint them red, and call it a day. I've compiled a list of all these minigames, so now I'm gonna go through each of them and tell you which ones I enjoyed and which caused me to have a mental breakdown. Hellblazing is basically a race from checkpoint to checkpoint, but instead of using normal automobiles to get to your local McDonald's drive-thru, 1 Big Mac please, you use your wings, which, as we've established, work about as well as your grand's legs. 3 out of 10. Torment Fraud plays on the fact Hell has an economy, where the quickest way to make money is to inflict as much bodily pain on yourself as possible. So in this minigame, you jump into oncoming traffic, racking up that sweet dollar. However, I'm unsure if all that money will be worth your entire skeleton. Although, full transparency, this is one of the better minigames, and it includes funny ragdoll physics. 7 out of 10. Mayhem is pretty self-explanatory really. You get a lovely weapon, unlimited ammo, and around 3 minutes to cause carnage. Now yes, I will admit, it's fun to blow stuff up initially, but the more you keep doing it, the more you start to feel numb to it, and because the game's main goal is to, you know, destroy stuff, Mayhem becomes boring very quickly. 5 out of 10. Pledge Rush is, to my understanding, what a basic day at an American college is like.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Delta Lambda chapter of Pi Kappa Alpha.
The main objective here is you run around with a cricket bat and smack any oblivious frat boys you see into these giant goals. This was simple, demure, elegant. 10 out of 10. Survival is pretty much just like Call of Duty Zombies.
Sounds like someone breaking in!
Apart from it's nothing like Call of Duty Zombies. Survive 3 waves by shooting an ever-increasing amount of enemies. Bang bang bang, 4 out of 10. Extraction facilities is basically you stealing property from the devil like you're playing a satanic version of Monopoly. The way you do this is by capturing free checkpoints in each base, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but it gives me flashbacks to the Avengers game, and that is a door I would like to keep shut. Anyway, shoot demons, free real estate, 5 out of 10. And lastly, we have salvation, which belongs in a dumpster fire. See, the whole point with this one is that you need to stop these guys from hitting the ground, but again this requires you to use your wings, and it just doesn't fucking work. You fully can't fly up and down fast enough to collect everyone, making salvation absolutely infuriating, as you just end up watching these lovely gentlemen fall to their death. It isn't fun in the slightest, and honestly I believe I would have a better time playing in quicksand.
Fucking hell, I'm going deep!
0 out of 10. Other than that, there's some quick side activities peppered around the map, like marching grounds where you fight this World of Warcraft character at the end, or these weird altars that'll fire missiles at you from across the map. And of course you have the obligatory collectibles, like these stunning orbs. Now I believe that's everything checked off my list, and I think it goes without saying that the lack of any actual story missions here, or even just the lack of any story, makes playing this game fucking miserable. There's just nothing here to keep me engaged because all this game comes down to is just mindless violence. That's janky at the best of times, with a story that's about as deep and complex as an episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Both of us knew how this would end, in pain and suffering.
And yeah, I get it, this was just an expansion, but in comparison to other game expansions, this one looks about as good as KFC vegan chicken.
Oh wow. This is a problem.
Although in saying that, there is a big musical number here.
I'm giving you away.
That's definitely worth some Reddit silver. I'm not kidding, this little sing-song is probably the best part of the game and it lasts like 15 minutes. Hideo Kojima only wishes he could make a cutscene this good. Plus I can't even lie, this song slaps. Besides that, let's just fast forward for like 4 hours of pointless destruction to get to the ending where Jezebel runs away from her arranged marriage to help you. Sure. And you finally meet the devil, greeting him with a bullet to the face. And yeah, that's the end of the game. It ended a little bit more abruptly than I thought it would, but you've got to stop the pain somehow. Okay, so obviously that doesn't work, and you fight him in a final boss fight that was so red, I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on. RIP to all the colorblind people that played this. Once you actually beat him by punching him in the face, he's like,
Oh, don't do it!
so in order to stop Johnny Gat beating him up, he sends everyone back home, and Johnny ends up speaking to God, voiced by Nathan Fillion.
What's got 2 thumbs and a date with a prostitute? This guy!
Anyway, God thanks Johnny for stopping the devil from invading heaven, which is a plot point I completely forgot about, and he grants him one wish, with your options being 1. Johnny reuniting with Aisha, 2. Johnny becoming the new king of hell, 3. The Saints finding a new planet to inhabit, 4. God recreating Earth but retconning the entire Saints series, or 5. God giving Johnny infinite knowledge so that he can win Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Obviously I chose the right option here, which was to retcon the entire Saints series, and that's how we've ended up in this mess. See, Gat Out of Hell from a gameplay perspective can be pretty fun. Like, you have some cool new powers and some snazzy weapons to play around with, but other than that, this game is just boring. The story might as well have been written on some toilet roll, the open world isn't exactly great to look at, the customization has been cut completely, and most damningly, there's no reason to keep playing it. Other than to see the musical number, which did bring a tear to my eye. The Saints Row series was already on extremely shaky grounds at this point, and Gat Out of Hell might have been the final nail in the coffin. It seemed like everything that people liked about the series was completely stripped away here, and we were left with this charmless game that was about as fun to play as attending a funeral. Ultimately, as you know, the series is now being rebooted, and whether or not that game will revive the franchise is anyone's guess, but it isn't looking promising. Although, to end this on a more positive note, I did hear that Gat Out of Hell was the Pope's favourite game. So at least someone likes it.